Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll explore a crucial skill in the art of programming, the ability to find information. The first objective of this lesson is to help you embrace the idea that programming is a lifelong journey of learning. Next, we'll dive into 5 practical ways to get answers to the questions that inevitably arise and explore when each method works best. Many beginners believe that to be a successful programmer, one needs to memorize every detail of every technical task their future programs might need to perform. Online courses and bootcamps often reinforce this belief by cramming every possible topic into bloated tables of contents. In reality, what sets a great programmer apart is a strong grasp of the fundamentals, the ability to continuously learn and refine their skills, and the expertise to find and apply the right information when needed. This course will help you become a great programmer. It focuses on building a solid foundation and equipping you for a lifelong learning journey. Some of the most transformational learning experiences begin when you have a question. I want to show you 5 ways I use to deal with my questions, with practical examples to help you determine which method to use depending on the question you have. The first method is simply to experiment. Suppose I'm unsure about the order of arguments in the pow function. Now, I could look up the documentation or run a Google search. But my favorite way is to simply experiment. In my experience, it's the fastest way to get a guaranteed, accurate answer. The trick to making this method effective is to avoid experimenting within the program you're currently working on. Instead, create a dedicated, small program just for testing. In Google Colab, this is especially convenient because you can create a separate cell for your experiments. We'll cover working with cells in more detail in the next lesson. As an exercise, please pause the video and experiment with the operators and the functions shown. Observe what each one does until you fully understand their behavior. Consider a different question. What else can the pow function do? Or, what important aspects of this function should I be aware of? Questions like these cannot be answered by experimenting alone, because we don't know what test to run. I could run a Google search to answer this question, but that comes with several disadvantages. First, I'd have to switch to another tab in my browser and type a query. Second, I'd need to choose between the various resources found by Google. Lastly, some of the information might not be accurate for the version of Python I'm using. This is where Python's help function comes in handy. By simply typing help pow, I can quickly discover that the pow function has a third optional argument for modulo arithmetic. From there, I can return to my favorite first method, experimenting, to understand exactly how the pow function behaves when provided with the third argument. As an exercise, please use the help function to find out what else the round function can do. Another situation where the help function is more useful than experimenting is when it provides explicit explanations for behaviors whose reasoning is difficult to guess. For example, it might be unclear why the round function rounds 2.5 downwards but rounds 3.5 upwards. Using the help function, I can find an explicit explanation for this behavior. ChatGPT is my go-to tool for answering several kinds of questions. For example, I already know that the POW function has a mod argument and how to use it. But why does it have this argument? ChatGPT excels at answering the why questions, providing both the reasoning and the necessary background. Another type of question involves direct comparison between tools. For example, when should I use the double star operator over the POW function? ChatGPT is great at exploring the relevant trade-offs. While I could run a Google search to answer this question, ChatGPT truly excels when I need answers tailored to the specific needs of my project. ChatGPT is also excellent at answering open-ended questions, like, what else should I know about computing exponents in Python? It helps guide my learning journey by suggesting areas I might not have considered. Lastly, suppose I need my program to connect to a remote server. As mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, I'm unlikely to remember the exact steps to achieve this. ChatGPT has often helped me make quick progress in solving such technical challenges. Suppose I want to find a tutorial that provides a broader and deeper perspective on computing exponents in Python. In these situations, I turn to Google. While I could ask an open-ended question in ChatGPT, sometimes I prefer a tutorial crafted by a human writer, or one with information more current than ChatGPT's training data. As an exercise, use Google to find a tutorial that broadens your understanding of any aspect that has caught your attention so far. Lastly, sometimes a piece of code doesn't work as expected, even after you studied the relevant information. Once you've exhausted your research, Stack Overflow is a great place where thousands of skilled programmers are ready to help tackle your question. However, Stack Overflow can be unforgiving toward poorly written questions. Before posting, make sure to read their guidelines for asking good questions and put your best effort into crafting one. The process of organizing and distilling your thoughts to craft a clear question that demonstrates your understanding and research will not only improve your chances of getting help, but also make you a better programmer. In summary, you now have an arsenal of 5 effective ways to get answers to your questions and empower your growth as a programmer.